What's up, Strive and Grind? Today I'm interviewing Miss Heidi Beemer. She was one of the candidates that made the first cut for the Mars One mission, and she has a dream of going to Mars and changing the world by doing so. Thank you, Heidi, for joining us today.
No problem.
Can you start off a little bit by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Heidi Beemer. I'm 24. I'm currently living in Clarksville, Tennessee. I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and my dream is to go to space and one day go to Mars. This is something that I've been wanting to do pretty much my entire life, and everything I've done up until this point has been with the purpose of becoming an astronaut and going to space. So I went to a math and science academy. I went to Ocean Lakes High School in Virginia Beach. From there, I went to the Virginia Military Institute, where I played soccer, Division I, for 4 years as a goalkeeper.
Wow.
And after a bunch of internships with NASA and getting my degree in chemistry, I decided to join the Army from there. And now I'm a first lieutenant in the United States Army in the Chemical Corps. And today I work on chemical defense, keeping the country safe. And so all of these things have kind of built the person that I am today. Giving me the opportunity to now apply for Mars One.
That's awesome. That's a pretty impressive resume, too. So let's start from the beginning. Where did this passion and dream of going to Mars come from, like, originally? Like, what was that aha moment where you were like, I'm going to go to Mars?
Well, surprisingly, I was 8 years old when this happened. So in 1997, my dad gave me a newspaper article about the Sojourner rover, which was a rover that landed on Mars, and its sole mission was to kind of drive around and collect more information, give us more details about the surface of the planet that we never had captured before. So this rover drove around for 3 months, and right away it really inspired me. My dad gave me this newspaper cutout with this nice panoramic view of the Martian surface. And I just remember thinking as a kid, we need to send people here. We need to actually pick up these rocks and these different stuff with our hands and actually get to know the planet and the surface for ourselves, because the rovers can only do so much. So ever since then, I've kind of put my eyes and set my dreams and goals on Mars. So
That's crazy. So you made that decision at 8 that we need to go to Mars and we need to make things happen.
I was a special kid, I think. But,
obviously. So did you know that they were originally planning a mission to Mars, or was this something that, like, just kind of somebody told you? Like, how did you find out about it?
yeah, so this completely caught me off guard. I had done all these things in my life knowing that I wanted to go to Mars, but I definitely thought I'd be in my 30s, 40s, 50s when the opportunity finally arrived. So I actually found out about this from a friend that I worked at NASA with. He was also very passionate about Mars, and he just Facebook messaged me and said, hey, you got to apply for this. This is our opportunity. So from there, I looked more into the project. I found out about the online application process, and I just threw my name in.
Awesome. So describe the moment that you found out, like, what were the emotions that you were thinking? Did you really think that you would be going forward through the process, or like,
Yeah.
did you think that you were going to get that call?
Yeah, I was pretty confident in my resume, just looking at the other people that applied. I was confident in that I'd set myself up, and then I had some personality traits and leadership qualities that kind of put me in the forefront. So I was really excited to be able to submit my application, and I know because all the applications, the video was public online, there was a lot of good feedback. A lot of people were very impressed with kind of how I presented myself. And so December 30th of last year, I received that final email telling me that I got selected for the second round. And I was actually sitting at a Starbucks. I had been snowboarding all weekend with some friends, and I knew that was coming out at some point that day. So I was just kind of hanging out. I looked down at my phone, and I had the email, and it said, congratulations, you've been selected for round 2.
That's crazy.
So I was so excited. And I remember just looking around at the people around me and how none of them knew anything about
I'm like, this girl is crazy.
wasn't even cared, but my friends that I were with were just super excited, and I immediately started calling my mom and my dad and just spreading the word to as many people as I could.
That's crazy. And there was 202,000 applicants, right? And then you were one out of the 1,000 that was chosen.
Yeah, so they cut it down from over 200,000 applicants down to 1,058, and So just drastic cuts, only 0.5% actually made it to the next round. So I'm just really excited to be part of the process moving forward.
Absolutely. Was the application like a hard process to go through?
No, it was actually pretty basic. The requirements were you had initially you had to pay a very small application fee, which is normal getting them started. You had to make a 2-minute video about yourself, answering a few different questions, kind of who you are and why you want to go to Mars. And then there were a few personal questions that they asked, as far as like you're leaving your family, how do you feel about that, or what are some things in your life that challenged you and how did you react? So kind of in-depth personality type questions. That they asked. They also asked for a short kind of personal statement of why we think we should be chosen. And that was pretty much it. It was very short, didn't ask for a resume, didn't ask for all of our qualifications. They were really looking more into our personality types, trying to figure out if we had the right personality to make this mission come true.
That's pretty crazy if they just chose you, like only about 1,000 people just based off personality. Yeah. You would think it'd be a lot more than that. So I didn't even know that. So can you tell us, or the Striving Grinders that are listening right now who don't really know much about the Mars One mission, can you briefly tell us what that's about and its purpose?
Yeah, so Mars One is a nonprofit organization that was created and founded by Bas Lenthorpe out of the Netherlands. And his dream, when he was younger, he saw the same Soinger rover that I saw, and he said, we need to send people to Mars. He started his own wind energy company. He left his PhD program and started this wind energy company. And he never dropped that goal of being able to go to Mars. So once he made enough money, he sold that company and he then founded Mars One. And so Mars One, their plan is to send 24 people to the surface of Mars by sending 4 people every 2 years, starting in 2025. And now, the big thing that makes this different than any other plan that's ever been proposed is that they want to send us on a one-way trip. And the reason it's a one-way trip is for 2 different reasons. The first reason is because Mars One wants to use the technology that we already have, and we've somewhat tested between the Apollo program and the International Space Station. So they want to use the technology that currently exists to save money and to save time. Right now, we have the technology to land on the surface. We demonstrated that with the Curiosity rover, which is a much larger payload than any ever before. So we've tested out these new different methods of landing things on Mars. What we've never tested is bringing something off of the surface. So by attempting to test something like that, you would have to send your rocket 7 months to Mars. You then have to land it, and then you then have to take it off the surface and bring it back for 7 months. So that adds time, that adds money that we don't have to be able to accomplish this mission. So the second reason we don't, they are proposing to send a one-way trip is we don't understand the human physiology of how our body would react if we landed on the surface, which is 1/3 the gravity, and then we attempted to put them back into 0G for 7 months to come home and then back onto 1G on the surface of Earth. So all those unknowns, we don't have the technology, we don't know how the human body will react to that little of a gravity for such a long period of time to be able to bring them back. So in order for us to find these answers and find out how our bodies will react on the surface and getting there, we really have to send people. And if we can't bring them back, we might as well find the volunteers that are willing to go one way.
Right. So the big question is why do you want to go? Like, what did you get out of it, and what is your whole idea behind going to Mars?
Yeah, so to start off with, like I said before, like this is something that I feel like I was made and created to do. As crazy as that is, I mean, even that 8-year-old self thinking, well, maybe this is what I was put on this earth to do, is to leave it. So for me, this is very self-fulfilling. This is something that I've just been concentrating on and focusing and studying for so long that this is really just a fulfillment for me. However, the reasons we should go to Mars isn't to fulfill my goals. It's to help humanity push forward into the unknown. It's to find the science, find the answers that lie on Mars that we'll never really know until we go there. Mars has a lot of unanswered questions as far as its past. Why does it look like it does today? Why did it lose its atmosphere and lose all of its liquid water? So going there and finding these answers will help us not only solve the answers of Mars's past, at Mars's future and also Earth's future as far as how we interact with our solar system and what might be in store for us. So there's tons of reasons for why we need to explore space, but these are just a few of the reasons that I'm passionate about.
Okay. So do you have any fears if in fact you are chosen to go? Because, I mean, it's a one-way trip to Mars. I mean, of course, I know you thought about it. And I'm sure when you tell people, you get different reactions like, you're crazy. Why would you want to go one way, never come back? Like, do you have any fears in that? Or
I've lived my entire life facing the fears that I have. A lot of things that I do because I'm sort of afraid of them. If I have something that I'm innately afraid of, I am just that kind of person that I don't want to show that I'm afraid. I just want to jump up and I want to do it until the point where I'm no longer afraid. So of course, I mean, leaving Earth, leaving oxygen and water and all these different things that we take for granted every single day is scary. But everyone who's ever accomplished anything great had that innate fear. I mean, if you look at the people who first climbed Everest for the first time, I mean, that was something that hadn't been done for centuries, and then finally they did it. Mm-hmm. So, and they were afraid the whole time. So unless we actually take our fears and we face them head on, we'll never really be able to answer the questions that we're looking for and to feel that self-accomplishment. So, yeah, I'm afraid, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to actually do this project and move forward.
That's awesome. I mean, even if you read, like, in motivational books or you hear about it, like, fear is probably the number one thing that sets humanity back from doing anything and being successful. So it's pretty admirable that you're willing to take that big step forward into the really unknown.
Yeah.
What would be the top 3 things you think you'd miss?
Exactly. I think I definitely miss my family. I mean, they're a big part of who I am today. Just human interaction, I think, would be something that I would miss. I think I'd also miss a lot of the outdoors activities that I do on Earth. I mean, I'm a really big hiker, and I like kayaking and snowboarding and whitewater rafting and all these adventurous things. But the good thing about Mars is at least every single day is going to be an adventure, and every single day is going to be something brand new. Right. So be able to feel that adrenaline rush just every single day living my life. So it'll be a good consolation for not being able to do go snowboarding or something like that. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that it'll just be different, but it'll just be a matter of learning how to live new. I mean, I'll only have the crew that I'll be with, and as that crew gets bigger and bigger, it'll just be a larger extended family. So I'll learn to interact and love and be companions with the people that I'm surrounded with. So, I mean, I'll be leaving everything behind, but I will be able to kind of figure out how to live on a new place.
Right. I guess you could just discover new things that you enjoy that you wouldn't even be able to have back here. So
exactly. I mean, who's to say that going out and I mean, who knows? Who knows what is out there and what fun activities we might come up with, what new sports we might come up with we have. I mean, the opportunities are endless. So
right. So how have your family and friends felt about the possibility of you going to Mars? Especially your parents. I can't imagine,
Yeah, well, they've been super supportive. Ever since I was little, I was telling them, hey, I'm going to be an astronaut. As soon as I told my family that when I was younger, my dad piled me and my sister, and my mom, we all piled in the car. And we went down to Florida to the Kennedy Space Center to attempt to see a shuttle launch. Unfortunately, the shuttle launch was scrubbed, and I had to go back to school, so I never got to see it. But they were super supportive from the very beginning to try to show me, like, well, if this is what you really want to do, these are the things that you need to accomplish. So they've been nothing but supportive. I've surprised them many times throughout my life. My dad went to the Naval Academy. He was in the Navy, and I came to him when I was in high school, and I said, Dad, I think I want to go to the Virginia Military Institute and go to an Army school. And he was super surprised and was like, this is nowhere what I thought you would do, but okay, I'm going to support you. And then I went through my time at VMI, and I decided my senior year that I wanted to commission in the Army. And so after I'd already signed all the papers, I went to my family and said, "Hey, Dad, I know you've been diehard Navy your whole life, but hey, I just joined the Army." So finally, I get to a point where it's like, "Hey, Dad, hey, Mom and Dad, I finally applied to go to Mars, and I think I have a pretty good shot." And so at this point, they're done being surprised. They believe that I can accomplish what I say I'm going to accomplish. So they've been super supportive throughout the whole process.
That's awesome. So you basically dedicated your whole life to this mission, even before it was even like a mission. So what steps have you taken so far from the moment that you knew you wanted to be on Mars to make the dream a reality? I know you went to VMI, you did like you went to NASA, or you worked with NASA. What are your qualifications, and what did you do to make the necessary steps to make this happen?
Yeah, so ever since starting out at Ocean Lakes High School, I was part of the Math and Science Academy, and a big part of the academy was in order to graduate your senior year, you had to conduct a 100-hour mentorship program. So I decided to contact some people at NASA, and I did my very first NASA internship at NASA Langley in Hampton, Virginia, where we kind of looked at the technology at the time. They were trying to build the new Constellation rockets. So I did a lot of testing with that and just kind of got a general idea of what NASA did and the process of space exploration. I got a good feel of that in high school. So once I went to VMI, I applied again my junior year to go to a NASA Academy, which is the top of the NASA program. It's the most elite internship that NASA offers. Wow. And I got accepted to the NASA Ames Space Exploration Academy in Mountain View, California. So I spent 3 months in California working with some of the best scientists in the field as far as just not only space exploration, but specifically in the Mars science field. So I was selected to work under Dr. Natalie Cabral, who is a scientist that actually determined where the Spirit rover would land on Mars. She proposed that we should send it to Gusev Crater for the scientific purpose, and that's where the rover went. So lots of just a deep well of information coming from there. So while I worked with her, I analyzed a crater in the southern hemisphere called Newton Crater, and I learned everything about it as far as the possibilities for life, the possibilities for finding water, looking at the different features within the geological surface. So just really I learned how to look at the information we have from the satellites around Mars right now and how to analyze it and how to get an understanding of what types of things are we looking for on the surface of Mars. So from there, through this internship, I also was given lots of opportunities to travel. We visited the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. We also visited the Kennedy Space Center, where we were able to see a lot of the big projects. So while we were at JPL, I actually saw the Curiosity Mars Science Laboratory, the rover that they just sent last year. We actually saw it while they were building it. The day we were there, they actually put the mast on with the little head that has the cameras on it. So we were able to see these things for ourselves. While we were at Kennedy, we also were able to see the space shuttle right before they retired them in 2010. They sent us to the launch pad. We got to go up the elevator the astronauts went on and see the ocean and just everything around it. So we were fully immersed in NASA and space exploration and getting a grasp and understanding of what it all meant. We also were given the opportunity to visit some of the private side of space exploration. We visited SpaceX and kind of got a behind-the-scenes tour of what their goals were and what they wanted to accomplish. And now SpaceX is a major driving force in the country right now. So just talking to these people, meeting new people, seeing the people that are behind the scenes or in the forefront of all this, it blew my mind as far as all the cool stuff that I was fortunate to as a career working for NASA or moving forward towards space exploration. And so after this internship, a couple of my friends and coworkers that I worked with at this internship, we decided to send a proposal to the Mars Society to become a 6-man crew at the Mars Desert Research Station. So in February of 2011, we got selected to become Crew 99.
Wow.
And so the 6 of us lived in this tiny little tin can in the middle of the Utah desert. And we lived and acted as if we were on the surface of Mars. So for 2 weeks, every time we went outside, we had to be in a spacesuit. We conducted a bunch of scientific experiments. I personally focused on an experiment that had to do with tunneling and choosing certain rock layers and rock features to find places to build tunnels, which will become very important on the surface of Mars to help radiate different types of stuff. So I just was able to do these different experiments and learn to live and cooperate with other people and how to eat and take showers and pretty much everything. Getting that firsthand experience, which really gave me that opportunity to say, hey, like, this is really what I want to do. Like, it's only 2 weeks, which is nothing compared to a lifetime, but given that opportunity, I've been able to say, like, yeah, this is really what I'm made for. This is what I want to do and accomplish with my life. So all of these things, as far as my resume goes, I've done a lot when it comes to kind of learning about space exploration moving forward. But I think the biggest thing that has given me the edge and kind of made me the person that I'm today and given me the leadership was when I decided to join the Army. So the Army has given me a lot of opportunities to work with people, work with soldiers, kind of learning that leadership styles that work for me and work for other people. So working for the Army, working in the Chemical Corps, I've been given a lot of opportunities to train in harsh environments. We would do a lot of training in masks, wearing suits, and going into environments that have chemical threats that no one else wants to be in. So I've kind of learned how my body will react in stressful situations under pressure, and learning that I have a level head and I have that ability to make decisions. So all these things combined, I think, definitely outlines my resume for why I think I should be selected for this program.
Dang, yeah, your resume is pretty incredible. And
Thanks.
yeah, it definitely shows how smart you are and how much of a badass you are.
Thank you.
Really think I think they'd be crazy to not choose you. Like,
thank you.
I don't personally know you very well, but from what you've said so far and what I've read up on you, I really think that you're going to be going there, and I think that is really what you were put on this earth to do, was to explore Mars. So that's pretty awesome. So having all these experiences, I'm sure, has helped build a certain type of mindset for you. What do you think you can do from now until I guess the time as you keep going across the application process? What you can do to help make your mentality stronger, and how do you think somebody who's going to Mars, what kind of mentality should they have?
Yeah, so far what I've been doing, the biggest thing is just trying to get the word out. Not a lot of people know what Mars One is, so I'm trying to talk to as many people as possible, trying to get them to understand, like, why is it important that we explore space in general, and why do we need to go to Mars. And so my favorite way to do this is actually talking to kids. So I spend a lot of my spare time going to classrooms, using the micro fame that I've gained from all of this to be able to approach teachers and principals and say, hey, I want to talk to your kids and I want to talk to them about space and having dreams and pushing for it. So something I've had a lot of fun. I've gone to the level of just going into one first grade class and talking to them about the planets and why it's important to understand the solar system that we're part of, all the way up to going to an entire high school gymnasium and talking to them about just why is it important to have these dreams and pursue this. So that's something that I've been working on and I'm very, very passionate about, just kind of spreading the word. So I think that'll be important moving forward throughout the process. As far as what kind of mental state, I mean, just being level-headed, being down to earth, being able to say, like, hey, when things don't go my way, I mean, I can't change everything. I can only do so much. So I think that kind of level-headedness and knowing that you can change what you can change, and if you can't, then you have to just find other ways to work around it. I think that's the kind of mental status they're looking for, that resiliency and that adaptability.
Awesome. So you told me that you were working on launching a live podcast soon. Can you tell our striving grinders a little more about this project, and when will it be launched?
Yeah, so that's something that I'm also very passionate about. There's been a lot of teachers that have approached me online through email or Facebook that are like, hey, can you come talk to my class? And I've gotten to a point where I'm still working for the Army. I still have a full-time job. So I don't have the time to go and talk to everyone. There's some people across the country, obviously, I can't reach. So I've decided that I want to start a podcast, something that I can give to teachers that they can then show to their classrooms to get a little more information about the project and a little more information about myself moving forward. So I don't quite have a launch date yet. I'm still working with a few people on my end to try to actually make it a program and move forward. But I've gotten a lot of support, and I think hopefully in the next month or two it'll be something that I can present to teachers, and it'll allow them an easier way to communicate to their kids, because sometimes when something's so big like space, it's really hard to really get kids to understand it.
Right.
So giving them something where someone who's actually involved in the field, who's willing to talk about it, might inspire the kids to pay attention and to learn more. So,
was there any other projects or appearances that we can look forward to other than that? I know you've been getting a lot of calls and emails from people, so.
Yeah, I'm going to be a keynote speaker at a conference in March in Virginia Beach. It's just a middle school girls STEM conference, kind of encouraging them. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited to actually be able to sit down and talk to kids to inspire them, especially girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we need more girls pushing, especially in the STEM world, and so just being able to do that. I'm also looking at, I've been contacted by SpaceX. They have it's similar to like a TED Talk kind of deal where they have people come and talk to their employees and kind of inspire them and get their creativity going. So I've been contacted by them to talk to their group in the next few months. I believe it's in April. So I'm still working on the details for all that, but I think that's something that would be really exciting to me, to be able to just talk directly to the people who are building the rockets that are one day going to send me, and showing them like, hey, the reason you're doing this is for people like me who are inspired to ride them. So I'm really looking forward to that experience and going to California as well.
Awesome. Well, your passion and strength is very admirable, and you're definitely the right kind of inspiration and motivation for our generation, especially the women and young women out there. So what's one piece of advice that you'd give to somebody who wants to follow in your footsteps? Like, if you had like that one little first grader that came up to you and said, I want to be like you, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I would tell them just to continue doing whatever makes them happy. Working hard, obviously studying hard in school is only half the battle. You have to find something that you're truly passionate about and set your eyes on that. And it's not necessarily about setting a road and following it to the T to get to where you want to go. You have to realize that throughout your life you're going to be just given opportunities. And a lot of times if you take those opportunities, they're going to open up other things that'll then allow you to get closer to your goals without you ever knowing it. So just be really open-minded, look for those opportunities to make yourself a better person, and ultimately get you closer to the things that you want to accomplish. So.
Awesome. Well, Strive and Grind is about striving to achieve greatness and grinding to get there. And the last question we always ask everyone is, what does Strive and Grind mean to you, and how do you apply it to your everyday lifestyle?
Yeah, Strive and Grind is just a motto that seems to resonate right now. Striving towards your goal just means having a goal, figuring out what exactly it is that you were meant to do, and then once you figure that out, just get on it and ride it until you actually accomplish what you want to do. So it's Strive and Grind. It's a great thing right now, and I feel like I've applied that to my life, obviously, just through everything that I've talked about. But yeah, it's awesome.
Absolutely. So where can our Strive and Grinders find you? Like your social media? Do you have a website?
Yeah, I do. So right now the best place to find me is at facebook.com/Beemer2Mars, the number 2. And that's also my Twitter handle and my Instagram feed. So I'm pretty much all over the social media right now, and I'd really love more supporters, more followers. So if you want to learn more information, see more interviews, and see more of what I'm doing, as far as social outreach and public outreach with the kids, you'll find all that information at Beemer2Mars.
Awesome. Well, this was Definitely an awesome interview. I'm happy that I got to gain some insight into the whole Mars One mission, and especially into the mind of someone who would want to take a one-way trip to Mars. And it's definitely opened my mind to a different idea of what that's about, and I really appreciate that, and appreciate you sharing that with our Strive and Grinders who are listening today. Was there anything else you'd like to leave off with?
Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. It's going to become very important down the road. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for listening, and make sure you guys subscribe to Strive and Grind in our YouTube channel and our website, and follow Heidi on her social media, and make sure you keep up to date with what's going on with her and the Mars One mission.